Southeast Asia is witnessing an unprecedented surge in air travel, with passenger numbers set to more than triple in the next 2 decades. Amid fierce regional competition, Vietnam is placing a colossal bet on Long Thanh Airport, a sprawling $16 billion project designed to become one of the world's largest aviation hubs. But what's driving this massive gamble? And can a new airport succeed when giants like Singapore's Changi are already reigning supreme? The story of Long Thanh Airport reveals the stakes, ambitions, and risks behind one of the boldest infrastructure endeavors in modern aviation history: the capacity crisis problem. Ho Chi Minh City's Tan Son Nhat International Airport is bursting at the seams. Handling around 40 million passengers each year, this airport is operating well beyond its intended capacity. The challenge is not just the volume, but its location, nestled right in the heart of one of Vietnam's busiest and most densely populated cities. Surrounded by urban development, the airport has very limited space to expand, much like London City Airport or Chicago's O'Hare, leaving little room to accommodate future growth. This overcrowding creates practical issues that affect airlines, travelers, and the city itself. Delays, congestion, and strained resources are commonplace, impacting the airport's efficiency and the overall passenger experience. With Vietnam's tourism industry booming, the problem is only intensifying. The airport's inability to scale up to meet increasing demand threatens to choke off this vital conduit for business and leisure travel alike. Recognizing these constraints, the Vietnamese government decided that simply upgrading or expanding Tan Son Nhat would not suffice. They needed a fresh, ambitious solution, one capable of transforming the nation's role on the global aviation map. This pressing capacity crisis set the stage for Vietnam's boldest infrastructure project yet. The soaring passenger numbers across Southeast Asia only add fuel to the fire, pushing many countries toward massive upgrades. Regional aviation boom. Over the next 20 years, air travel in Southeast Asia is predicted to more than triple. This surge is driven by more than just tourists from the West. It's a wave powered by a rapidly expanding middle class in China, India, and other emerging markets. As millions of people gain the means to fly for leisure, education, and business, the need for bigger, more efficient airports is becoming urgent. Southeast Asia has quickly turned into one of the globe's hottest travel destinations. This explosion in passenger demand has sparked fierce competition among nations aiming to become the region's mega aviation hub. Countries like Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, and the Philippines are all making huge investments to expand or build airports capable of handling upwards of 100 million travelers each year. Each airport has its own strengths and plans, but all share a common goal: capturing the lion's share of a booming market and staking a claim as the center of Southeast Asian air travel. The momentum behind this aviation boom shapes the entire landscape for the Long Thanh project. Vietnam isn't merely responding to its own problems, it's racing to stake its place in a rapidly evolving regional air network. How this competition unfolds will ripple far beyond infrastructure alone. Amid all this expansion, Long Thanh Airport aims to stake out a unique identity through scale and design. Long Thanh's grand vision. Vietnam's Long Thanh Airport is designed to be a true colossus, sprawling over 5,000 hectares, more than 4 times the size of London Heathrow. The vision is grand, a state-of-the-art airport with 4 terminals, inspired by the lotus flower, Vietnam's national symbol. Each terminal will be supported by a runway 4,000 meters long, built to handle the latest jumbo jets and massive cargo volumes. The project is divided into 3 phases. The first phase focuses on clearing and leveling land, an enormous task that involved thousands of vehicles moving earth across forested terrain, and constructing initial terminals, runways, and a distinctive 123-meter-tall control tower shaped like a lotus bud. As the project progresses, subsequent phases will add more terminals and runways, ultimately expanding passenger capacity up to 100 million people annually and freight capacity to 5 million tons. This phased approach allows the government to manage growth progressively, matching infrastructure with passenger demand over time. Long Thanh isn't just building an airport, it's building a gateway poised to rival the busiest airports worldwide and challenge existing Southeast Asian giants. But turning this ambitious blueprint into reality comes with its own set of challenges. The complexity of this project is matched only by the intense regional competition it faces, underscoring the high stakes ahead. For more insights and updates, don't forget to like and subscribe. Construction challenges. Building Longthon Airport has meant tackling monumental challenges from the very start. The site, a vast forested area covering 5,000 hectares, first demanded extensive clearing and earthworks. Thousands of vehicles and machines have been continuously digging, filling, and leveling the land to prepare a solid foundation for the airport's massive infrastructure. But this was only the beginning of complex logistical and environmental hurdles. One unexpected challenge was uncovering bombs and mines from the Vietnam War embedded underground, forcing construction to halt repeatedly for safe removal. These dormant explosives posed a serious safety risk, making site clearance a painstaking and highly controlled process. Beyond this, the area's distinctive red basalt soil has caused persistent dust problems. The fine dust spreads for kilometers, affecting nearby communities by worsening air quality and damaging local crops, fueling complaints and urgent calls for better management. In response, the government implemented measures like reservoirs for groundwatering and speed limits on construction vehicles to reduce dust dispersal. Yet, despite these efforts, dust remains a stubborn obstacle that underscores the environmental stakes of such a large-scale project. These construction difficulties reflect the broader reality of building next-generation infrastructure in challenging and sensitive locations, where nature and history both demand respect. Even as work progresses on these physical challenges, questions about cost and finance add a different kind of pressure to the project. Economic and political concerns. Longthon Airport's breathtaking scale comes with a staggering price tag, around $16 billion. The ambitious Lotus-inspired terminals and sweeping curves in the design aren't just aesthetic choices, they drive complexity and cost. Curved architecture requires far more specialized engineering and materials than traditional right-angled structures. Concrete must be delicately handled to avoid brittleness, and thick steel components resist bending, demanding extraordinary precision and labor. When the project was first proposed in 2006, Vietnam was still emerging from decades of economic challenges. Expectations for growth were high, but many worried that the loans and debts needed to fund such a massive venture could strain the country's finances well into the future. Although Vietnam's economy has since accelerated and trade has expanded, financing remains a watchful concern among policymakers and citizens alike. The airport's price tag continues to spark debate about whether such a heavy investment is justified. Balancing visionary infrastructure with economic prudence is a tightrope that Longthon must walk carefully. The government's phased construction approach helps by allowing demand to regulate spending over time, reducing risk if passenger growth slows. Still, the project stands as a high-stakes gamble where success depends not only on engineering feats, but also on Vietnam's long-term economic resilience and the airport's ability to attract enough traffic to justify its enormous cost. Every challenge and risk surrounding Longthon reveals just how much is riding on the future of air travel in Southeast Asia, where competition only grows fiercer. The regional airport race. Southeast Asia's race to build the next mega airport is fiercely competitive, with several countries investing billions to claim the title of regional aviation hub. Singapore's Changi Airport currently leads the pack, already welcoming 60 million passengers annually and consistently ranked among the world's best airports. However, Changi is not resting on its laurels. A new Terminal 5 costing $10 billion is under construction and expected to boost its capacity to an astonishing 150 million passengers by the mid-2030s, cementing its dominance for years to come. Meanwhile, other nations are aggressively expanding to keep pace. Malaysia plans to upgrade Kuala Lumpur International Airport to handle 100 million travelers yearly, while Thailand's Suvarnabhumi Airport is undergoing redevelopment to increase capacity to 120 million. The Philippines is building a new $14 billion airport, Bulacan, designed to welcome 100 million passengers once complete. Amid these developments, Vietnam's Longthon Airport stands out for its immense scale and ambition, promising to rival the world's busiest hubs when fully operational. Despite Changi's clear lead, Southeast Asia's rapid growth means the market might support multiple megahubs. Longthan's phased development lets it scale in line with demand, potentially carving out a significant role in international aviation. While Longthan may not become number one overnight, its massive capacity and strategic location position it to become one of the region's premier gateways, reshaping air travel and connectivity across Asia in the coming decades. The race to become Southeast Asia's next mega airport is as much about vision as it is about size and investment. Longthan embodies the bold bets made to meet soaring demand and reshape the region's skies. If you enjoyed this look into one of the world's most ambitious airport projects, please like and subscribe for more deep dives into incredible construction stories.